So, come back to our first session. It is my great privilege to introduce our esteemed expert for today's session, Professor Dr. C.N. Deshmukh sir, a renowned academician and researcher in the field of electronics, telecommunication, and emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence and the machine learning. Dr. C.N. Deshmukh sir is currently serving as the head of the Department of Industrial IoT and Computer Science and Engineering at Professor Ram Institute of Technology and Research, Bandera. With over 3 decades of experience in academia and research, he has made significant contribution to advanced fields like digital signal processing, wireless communication, and AI-driven systems. Sir illustrates academic journey includes a BE in electronics, ME in electronics and telecommunication, and PhD specialization in wireless networks. His PhD research title "Study the Role of Diversity in Wireless Network" has been a cornerstone for advancements in cooperative diversity techniques. He has authored multiple books on microwave engineering and wireless communication, and his publication record is nothing short of prolific. With numerous papers in prestigious journals covering areas such as pattern recognition, FPGA implementation, and multi-model image processing. In addition, Dr. C.F. Deshmukh sir holds several patents in cutting-edge technologies, including pattern recognition and convolutional encoders, emphasizing his commitment to innovation. As a resource person, he has conducted workshops and FTPs across prominent universities like Mumbai University, Pune University, and the Shivaji University, focusing on digital image processing, AI, and machine learning. He is also an experienced research supervisor guiding doctoral candidates in their pursuit of excellence. We are honored to have such an accomplished individual share his insights today. So now may I request Dr. M.A. Punsar, HOD of CSC and the coordinator of Atal FDP program, to do the floral welcome of our first resource person, Dr. C.N. Deshmukh sir, head of IIoT of PRMIT at Bandera and first resource person of Atal FDP program. Thank you, sir.
Nine.
तिकडचं बंद झालं.
ठीक करतो ना एक सेकंड.
Okay, good morning, all of you.
Good morning, sir.
And start of winters, so a good atmosphere and weather too. which will help us to go through the day. I can understand that making faculty sit for long hours together is a very difficult task. Anyway, what we expect from our students at the same time. Anyway, I welcome you all. Lot of things have been said about me in my biodata, what the speaker has read. Nothing is true from that. Because I am a learner and keep on learning from time to time. So do not say me an expert, I am one part and parcel of you. I am also a teacher and has got more or less similar knowledge what you have. It's only that I am sharing what I have got. So I need not to tell you all your learned people here that what is AI. But before we go into the question of AI, let us talk something about intelligence. It is more likely to be more interactive in nature. So how do you define intelligence in general? Whatever, human intelligence, animal intelligence, anybody. Lot of people have intelligence. How do you define intelligence? Or, for example, if you want to recognize a person, how do you recognize it? So you have got something back of your mind, you have seen him or her, the face, the ears, the eyes, the nose. So you are having so many features. You are and trying to recollect that and try to match. So what is the intelligence in that? The intelligence is basically the feature you have got stored and you are trying to make use of it for the purpose of recognition. So intelligence is not created. Intelligence is what we get from nature. Remember that. Example, you don't have to teach a young toddler. A lot of time we give this example, a very young child, maybe 9 months old, 1 year old, and you have a hot tea in your cup, and let's say knowingly or unknowingly he dips his finger in that, it will get burnt. Next time, even if you keep the cup empty or filled with water, he will not touch it. He has learned that if you put something in this type of thing, it is dangerous for him and he will not touch it, though there is nothing in that. So a system has gathered that intelligence that something within this that has been kept is not good for me, is not good for his health. It is causing him trouble and therefore he is not going to touch it. So he is drawing inference from that. So it is storing in background the intelligence that something like this is there which is dangerous. Don't put your hand or finger in that. Be away from that. So remember that, truly speaking, intelligence cannot be artificial. Intelligence cannot be artificial. It is natural. Even when you talk about AI-driven intelligence or AI, artificial intelligence, practically it is a human-derived intelligence that you are feeding to the machines. So you are giving your job to the machine. What you are supposed to do, you are giving it to the machine. And saying that, okay, you do like this. How to do it, that also you are telling him. You are having separate algorithms. Okay, when you are saying that we are making the system learn, what? Learning by examples. It is learning by examples. The more the number of examples you give, more is the variety of the example, the learning becomes better. The curve improves. Or false positives are less, the efficiency improves, accuracy also improves. So more and more you train. Lot of you people, I can see, or I gone through, or I will see it with even my doctor students. Lot of people use ready-made CNN networks that are available, pre-trained. I mean, postgraduate thesis or even PhD thesis, they are pre-trained networks. There are a number of them. How they have been trained? The data that has been gathered over a period of time, it is fed every time. Even when you are using it, your data also is training them. Your data is also training them. Remember that. So they have become more and more robust over a period of time. They have become more and more robust. So practically intelligence in such cannot be artificial. It's natural. So let us come to this word, that is AI. So when you talk about AI, we'll have very simple contents because I was told that I'm required to only introduce, don't go in depth, because there are a lot of other speakers who are supposed to go in depth. So I will just touch a number of things which are essentials part of it. So definition, you can say AI, everybody knows it. How ML is related to AI and especially deep learning. And don't remember that deep learning is not something new. We are saying deep learning. But if you see old people there, they have studied some subject called as neural networks. Neural networks. Deep learning is what? You are using the same thing there. Whatever. Feed forward, feedback, back propagation, whatever type of network is there, you are using it. Because you are trying to make it more precise. So generally, we use it for parameter optimization. But if you are having a number of parameters, it gives you better optimization using deep learning. So your accuracy will improve. Later on, if you are using some type of machine learning algorithm. So, how it is related to machine learning? We will stress today on some examples of AI, which are basically in real world, they are being utilized. A number of them are there. And then what problems it can solve, and then naturally there are certain ethical practices to be there in AI and disadvantages associated, because let's take the principal had said that one of our principles of our society was under digital arrest. Okay, so it is the same thing which is being used for a wrong purpose. A lot of people have lost money again using digital transformation or digital networks, and that's why we have to understand how do we use AI responsibly. So what is AI? I need not to go into the definition. As I told you, AI is the ability for a computer to think, learn, and simulate human thinking process. Now remember that human thinking process is a complex process. No two people will give similar results for the same problems. For example, if there is a fight in a market, some person will say that I will intervene. Dusra bolega, he will say that okay, I will dial 100 for police help. So everybody has got his own views. Remember that. Is it similar? No. Okay, and that's where the difference is. So we are trying to simulate the human mental process. Now remember that human mental process is a complex thing. Remember that a same human being under similar circumstances at two different times can take different decisions. Same human being having same brain under similar circumstances can take two different decisions at different times. Why? Because it has got something associated, which is again a new branch in AI. I think a lot of people will be knowing it. Artificial intelligence is one thing. What is another? Yes?
Generative
No. Generative AI is something different. There is a parallel branch to AI, where you bring a lot of things about the thinking process. Cognitive is not. Cognitive is something different. Cognitive aspect, when you talk about cognitive aspect, वो क्या है जहाँ खाली है उसको यूज करो, वो होता है cognitive. But cognitive radios or whatever, when it is cognitive, you are trying to find out the best part. This is not been used. Okay, I will use it. Something like that. Okay, so it is not cognitive. See, this particular thing is totally related to your thinking process as to how you will react. Let's say somebody has slapped you, how will you react? You may slap him back. You may not slap him. You may cry. You may sit down. How? See, this is the process that even AI doesn't understand. This is a process that even, because as I told you, it is a very complex thing. So we are having something which is very parallel. I'll let you know what the exact word is. later on. So it is basically the ability of the computers to think, learn, and stimulate human mental process. A number of them are there, reasoning. Okay. Now remember that it can also independently perform complex tasks. So independently perform complex tasks subject to it has learned something. Otherwise not. Just like when you come to your students and if you're using some type of AI material or something, some classifiers or etc. The very first question you ask him, भाई कितना डाटा पे सेट ट्रेन किया है, how many sets you have used, what are the number, let's say it is image processing, how many images you have used, are they colored images or black and white, what are the number of images you have used for training, what are the number of images you have used for validation. Now that is the very first question that comes. Then you talk about epochs, how many iterations, what is the block size and how many iterations you have carried out. So remember that when your block size is larger, your number of iterations is larger, you are basically trying to fine tune your system. You are trying to fine tune. So remember that this is the process that you make it learn. You make it learn. So it is a complex task, okay, that once required, see, human input. Without human intelligence, it is not there. It is we who feed. Even, let's say, you are saying that, okay, a photograph or image, it's a data. But how it is created? Image can be natural, it can be an artificial image. For example, somebody is painting, etc., etc. That is a artificial type of image. A natural is if you take a photograph of something, some road, some jungle, it is a natural. So remember that you only are differentiating the things. ये natural है, ये artificial है. ये intelligence आप उसको दे रहे हो, वैसा नहीं कर पाएगा. So you are telling him how to differentiate it. You are telling him how to differentiate it. You are setting the rules and regulations for that. That this is this, this is this, this is this. And that's where, as I told you, that nothing is artificial. It is a human-driven intelligence that is being fed. So you are giving your burden onto the machine, right, to corrupt. Let's take, just like a lot of your students may be using ChatGPT. You give an assignment to them, you will get perfect answers. But please go through the grammar, you will find it whether it is from ChatGPT or not. So there are smart people who use Grammarly also to correct it appropriately, so that they are in sequence. Again, you can patch them, because whatever is there doesn't have that human characteristics in that. It doesn't have human characteristics. So there is a provision in ChatGPT also that you should inbuilt that you make it human. Human, as you speak, how you speak, how you talk, how you write. So you make it more human. Right? So that's how it progresses. So your student is brighter, you have to be more better than him. Okay? Because remember that a lot of students are practically utilizing this for some other purpose. I am not saying it is bad. Okay. But anyway, no intelligence can be artificial, it is natural, because even when we are deriving intelligence, it is coming from nature. It is coming from nature, it is coming from some teachings. Whatever. It may be religious teaching, it may be your surrounding, it may be your environment, and then what things are there right from the day of birth, you are learning. Yes, and if you tell that this is my mother, this is my father, you have been taught that something like this is your mother, something like this is your father. Because you are staying with him, you are saying that, okay, mother, father. Had it been something different, you would have called like that. Remember? So you are basically meant a habit. Okay. So very simple definition of AI, that we are trying to basically simulate the human brain process and giving that job to a system and making it intelligent to do your work actually. So we are making lazy over a period of time. So what is AI in simple thing? I can put it. Characteristics of human behavior, everybody knows: understanding, reasoning, learning, solving problems, and effective communication. These are the basic characteristics of human behavior. We not to harp on that much. Understanding, remember that the level of understanding again is very different for everybody. For example, if you are taught a class, do you think that everybody has understood? You are taught a class, but have they learned? Has their understanding developed for that purpose to understand that whether the understanding has been developed or not? You are having some mechanisms, maybe a test, maybe a quiz, maybe a question answer session, whatever. You are having mechanisms to find out what is the depth to which you have delivered the thing. See, you are delivering a lecture doesn't mean the learning has happened. You are delivering a lecture. Lecture delivery is something different. I am coming in front of me, I am delivering a lecture. It doesn't mean that everybody has got it from the right perspective, the right depth. Everybody's this will differ, and that is what is basically the understanding level. Some people take more time to understand. देखिए ना, mathematics पढ़ते हो, some people catch very easily. Okay, how it is being done. They're smart. Their brain works like that, fundamentally. But some people, you have to tell them twice, thrice. भाई ये ऐसा करो, फिर ये ऐसा करो, फिर ऐसा करो. Okay. Then he says, okay. So he has to iterate multiple number of times to get that understanding level. Because it is not possible for everybody to have the same level. It's not possible. And that's why we say that, okay, this student is intelligent, he is average, he is not that good. But remember that nature has created everybody intelligent. Nature has given same intelligence to everybody. It is how we use it. That's the difference. How we use it. Everybody has got a brain, a proper brain. The matter here is how we use it and what are the circumstances through which we are gone over a period of time. That creates a lot of things associated with the thinking process of the brain. Reasoning, everybody has got a reasoning. Everybody. You fight with your friend, there is a reason for that. Why you have fought? For both of you. Why he is fighting with you or you are fighting with him, there is a reason. And there is an appropriate reasoning behind that. Anyway, when you give solution, there is a lot of reasoning. For example, a lot of ladies are there. We go to buy a sari. My God, how much amount of thinking and reasoning goes behind buying a sari? Right from the thread to the shade to the zari work, etc., etc., and the cost, which is very important. इतना सब मिल रहा है, इतने में, okay. No, you are applying reasoning there. No, reasoning कब होता है? ये दुकान में देख लिया, वो दुकान में देख लिया, वो दुकान में देख लिया. Then you start reason out. Which to purchase, which is best fit as per your parameters. As per everybody's got a different parameter, different way to look at it. Some people like very dark shades, some people like very light shades, etc., etc. There's a difference. People view and the occasions also. भाई शादी में जाना है तो different है, birthday में जाना है तो different है, reception में जाना है तो different है, मैयत में जाना है तो different है. See, it is different everywhere. So according to the occasion, you are reasoning, you are thinking, and having a right attire. Solving problem is a natural phenomenon. Because if there are no problems, there will be no thinking. Remember that. Thinking will die. If you don't have any problem, there will be no thinking. And your thinking process will die. Remember, you should understand Darwin. The thing that is no use to you, over a period of time, it will get destroyed. And that may happen with humans over a period of time. If you give all the thinking process to the system, it's a big danger. I'm giving a very simple example. You should look into that. In olden days, to calculate 23 into 24, we hardly took any time. Hardly took any time. You catch any of your student, ask him 23 into 24. जेब में से कैलकुलेटर निकालेगा नहीं तो मोबाइल निकालेगा. And then he'll let you know. Why? What has happened to his thinking process? problem solving, क्या हुआ? It has degraded. With advances in technology, it has degraded. Remember that. If you ask any of your student to tell a table of 7 or 9, see what happens. 7 एक 6, 7 2 14, 7 1 20, 7 28, 7 5 35, तो काय म्हणते सांगा. But English medium, Marathi medium, what it means. He will not be able to. He will have to think. 7 to the 7. 7 to the 14. Okay, 7 to the us. Why? It has degraded because of advances in technology. It is basically that. Tables were taught once upon a time in schools. Now the teachers don't harp on it. They are teaching them skill development. The basic skill is gone. Now they are teaching skill development in schools, whereas the basic skills are not yet. See, you have to build any development based on some basic skills. So that basic skill have to be implemented first. We should think about that at that level only, because it can be got. The student can learn at that level only. It is very difficult to mold anybody at a later age. Very difficult. तुम्ही लहान मुलाला सरळ करू शकता, 14 वर्षाच्या मुलाला it becomes more and more difficult. It is going to college, it becomes still difficult to mold him, to amend him. So thing is that the process has to be set right in the beginning. So solving problems is a natural thing associated with human being, and of course effective communication. Language is not a bar for communication even, because when you talk about NLP, natural language processing, a lot of people talk about natural language as something English, Hindi, Marathi, etc., etc. But there is another way of natural language. For example, if I am looking into his eyes, it is also conveying sort of things. Lot of things. It is also part of communication. It's also part of communication. Just like you as a mother or father, छोटा बच्चा है उसके तो घोर के देखो ऐसे. He will understand. He has to stop. You have not said a word. You have not uttered a word. But what has happened? He is not doing anything. But he controls his activities. Why? He has understood your temperament, that if I continue to do this, I will be hit, or I will be scolded. What it will be? So you stop that activity momentarily. तुम जाओ फिर चालू करेगा. So that is basically a sign language. Remember that. Again, it is a part of natural language processing. It is a natural language. Remember, a tree tells you a lot of things. When you look at a tree, whether it is growing rightfully or not, do you have any processor there? Your eye only is a processor, your brain is a processor, which can understand whether the tree is going to grow or not, whether it is growing or not, whether it is going to bear fruits or not, the flowering is okay or not. See, all this is a part of natural language. And we talk about a lot of blah 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 about NLP. And number NLPs. But practically it is this. That's why it is very difficult to understand, because it has to be put in a right perspective. It has to have some meaning. This means that, this means that, just like a sign language, traffic rules. It has got a meaning. When you put a traffic rules, stop, whatever, different. Go in this direction, overtaking is not prevented, don't overtake. There are sign, boards. It's a sign language, but it conveys a lot of meaning to you. This is associated meaning, that this sign means this. So there are a number of aspects that we talk. So effective communication is very important. So science and engineering are making intelligent machines, especially intelligent computer programs. That is what is basically we refer as AI. Okay. So how does AI system work? I need not to tell you, all you are learned people who have been in the institutes or teaching in profession for maybe 10 years or more than that. So just I read it. By analyzing data and learning from patterns. Now data is a generalized word. Data is a generalized word. Anything that you create is a data. I am speaking here, it is a data. It doesn't mean that all the data is useful to you. So there is scrap. What you do in data mining and warehousing and a number of things people talk about. Big things. Big data. Big data is basically you are processing this much, you are processing this much. Instead of handling one container, you are handling a ship. Instead of handling one container of a ship, you are handling entire ship. So big data. Anyway. So when you talk about analyzing data, data has got a person. The data is general word. Anything is data. So you talk about useful data. That is your information. Very simple example. If this madam is speaking with this madam, they are interacting. And these two madams are also speaking. You are also speaking. Now for them, whatever you are saying within among yourself, it is a noise for them. अरे, तकलीफ दे रहे हैं। दूर जाके नहीं बात कर सकते। हम दोनों बात कर रहे हैं। Because they are not able to understand each other, something disturbance is coming. Same thing for you also. So whatever the interaction that is going on in between them, that is information for them. But what is coming from your side, it is not information. It is useless information. It is of no use to them. So what is the information from one may not be an information for another. And that's why we talk about useful data. We talk about useful data. So what is of use to me or for a particular purpose, it is useful. Now remember that once it is useful data, next time it may not be useful to you. Because it depends on the perspective what you are looking at. And that's why, in general, we are analyzing the data and patterns within the data. Now pattern means what? You can define pattern in 1 dimension, 2 dimension, 3 dimension, n dimensions. Pattern is a generalized word again. Pattern here doesn't mean always, no, when you talk about pattern, people talk about image processing. Well, pattern recognition, amka. Pattern is basically the way data is there. The way data is been placed. Just like we as a speaker, any human being, our speech is somewhere between 300 Hz to 3 kHz. That is only the voice box. It may be slightly more up to 3.5 kHz in case of ladies because their voice are more shriller. Lot of tone is there, so it can come up to 3.5 kHz. So anything beyond these frequencies is useless for you. Anything beyond these frequencies. So your voice is something between 300 Hz to 3 kHz. Now when I talk about this, that means you are creating a data. So what is the pattern? When you spell a word, there is a certain unique pattern created in terms of tone, pitch, formats. For example, if you talk about a mobile phone, आपका मोबाइल फोन में आपका टू वॉइस कभी जाता नहीं है. आपके मोबाइल फोन में एक something called a vocoder is there, voice coder, which basically digitizes your speech. This is analog speech, which digitizes it and then basically converts it. It removes a lot of things that are not necessary, so that the amount of data related to it is reduced. What you call as vocoders. So they are synthetic coders. So what we are doing there, that we are trying to artificially construct a system similar to your voice box. So every voice has got something, formats, the pitch, the time. So it is a pattern, remember that. Now if I say what, if I tell everybody to say what, you will find difference. Okay. If I say what, and everybody says what, you will find a difference. You will find difference. It is not similar. Again, difference is there. It depends upon if you are angry. What? See, I said what only. It becomes a difference again. So emotions associated are also there. See, it is very difficult. Remember that. You are saying the same word. So the patterns, you will find there are a lot of, there is a correlation. There is a correlation. And there is a margin of error. Remember, it cannot be unique. That something like this is called as what. So it is what or what or what. You have to bring it into one to be said as what. Then only you can recognize the speech. That means you have to again train your system with different what's. The time you do it, then it will understand. Okay, ऐसा भी हो सकता है, ऐसा भी हो सकता है, ऐसा भी हो सकता है. So you will find out what are the most important parameters in this. By pitch, format, frequency, जो भी है. हाँ, ये important parameter इसको देखो सही है. Okay, what you talk as features. So analyzing data and learning patterns. So pattern doesn't mean only image processing. Pattern, because image again is a data. It's a combination of data. It's a two-dimensional data. Let's say if you're talking about 2D image, it's basically a pixel by pixel. So every pixel is having two dimensions: x-axis, y-axis, what it may be, depending upon what axis you're choosing. So again, it is data only. No? You are having whatever, whether it is what you can say a binary image, or you are talking about grayscale image. Again, it is a certain type of digital data that you create. So you are processing data only. Okay, here also you are using masks for different purposes. So what you are doing? You are doing the same thing. Okay. So then use algorithms or step-by-step instruction to learn from data and make decisions. Remember that. Use algorithm or instructions. Who is giving this? Who is making the algorithm or who is giving the instructions? It's a human race. Okay, so that you can learn. म्हणजे ते कसं आहे लहान मुलाला जसं आपण ट्रेन करतो लहानपणापासून उसका लर्निंग चेंज होते रहता है सेम थिंग इज देयर यू स्टार्ट फ्रॉम स्क्रैच and you improvise learning by examples. So children also learn, we also learn from examples. That everything is not taught you directly. There are a lot of things we learn by examples. एखाद्याची गोष्ट विचारात घेऊन आपण शिकू शकतो असं करायला नाही पाहिजे असं करायला पाहिजे. How we are learned? Nobody has come and taught you. You are learned by examples. बराबर है ना? So you should not touch electrical appliance bare-handed because you get a shock. So it is a learning. So there are a number of things. So use algorithm or step-by-step instructions to learn from the data and make decisions. More data they are given and more patterns they learn, the better they become in making decisions. It is with human being also. It is with human being also. Okay, so same thing is here. So why there is a sudden boom in AI? Because see, everybody now talks about AI only, right from 1-2 years old, right up to 30-40 years old. Everybody talks about AI. Whether he knows AI or not, that is different part of it. But he says AI. Even you can see your students taking admission. Computer, AI. They hardly know anything about it practically. And they got some notion that has been fed to them that this is good for getting job. Very basic thing is that it is good for getting a job. He can earn. So because that is a primary requirement, then we says that okay, computers, AI, IT. It doesn't mean that other things are bad. They are also equally important. Anyway, so why sudden boom in AI system? So there is significant improvement in the computing systems over a period of time, especially related to the processes. And remember that these computing systems are becoming more and more complex over a period of time. You can take a simple example. In good olden days, there were a lot of processors. A lot of old timers been using P3, P4, Pentium, etc. उसके पहले हम जब थे तब 386, 286. When we studied, when we graduated, there was hardly any systems at that time. Even the microprocessor was there was no microcontroller. There was the microprocessor 8085, 8086. When we started. And there are some 186, 286 computer, some KB or hard drive, 200 KB, 300 KB. That's all. A PROM, a 1K, etc. Now where are we? your small nano Arduino is powerful too. Or your Raspberry Pi, maybe Pi 3, Pi 4, what it will be. It's a big, it itself is a system which can have its own mini OS, mini operating system. So it is as good as a system which can do a lot of things. You don't require a big computer standalone general purpose. These are general purpose computers. What we are utilizing. You talk about DSP processors. Everybody is using a certain type of DSP processor, even in your mobiles. Even in your mobiles. You are using some video processor. It may be a chip belonging to Intel, or it may be NVIDIA chip, what it may be. Or what is Snapdragon, etc., etc. But it is there. It treats it differently. There is a reason. So these processes have become more and more complex, but much faster with the changes in technology. Okay, and second, data storage capabilities. Very important. Data storage once upon a time was a big issue. Pen drive. किती KB चा राहायचा? 32 KB. पेन ड्राइव होताच तेव्हा. पहिले फ्लॉपी 1.44 1.2 MB की बड़ी वाली आती थी 5.5 इंच और 1.44 डिस्केट. That was only two things that were available. 1.44 MB and that was 1.2 MB to store something. आज देखिए पेन ड्राइव कितना जीबी का रहता है? 64 GB, 128 GB. What about your hard drives? 1 terabyte and above, or at least 500 MB, at least. Okay, you talk about hard disk. The old days of hard disk are also gone. Now what you are having nowadays? Make it faster. SSD. Purely silicon. The processes have been improved rather than magnetic. So that's why storage systems have changed, and that's why you can manage large amount of data. You can manage large amount of data. Okay, that's the reason. Second, need not to tell you, growth in internet, social media, and other digital technologies has led to accumulation of vast amount of data. For example, simple example, the UPI. Unified Payment Interface. The Government of India Enterprise. What you call as NPCI. All your UPIs, a transaction through UPIs are handled to it. Can you imagine what is the amount of transaction are there? ₹1 से लेके, see what happens to normally to students? Go to the canteen, coffee लिया, कितना? चाय 10 रुपए. 10. Remember the amount of data it is collecting even in 24 hours. 24 hours. So, see, up till now we didn't give any importance to data, but now data is getting importance. We never stored data for some purposes. What your data that was stored is a handwritten or in terms of documents. But the data, for example, I'll give a simple example in India. Your medical records. Tell me how many people of you are having your medical records right from your childhood? How many amongst us are having the exact medical record right from our childhood? None of these. Nobody has got it. Why? Remember, had it been maintained, it could have given a very bright perspective to maintain your health or monitor your health. Because that data can be used for what are the changes in your basic, you can say, anatomy or your physical health or anything you can talk about. There are a number of things. Even your psychology. So had you had that data, we never stored it. Remember that. आज भी नहीं होता है. You go to a doctor, he will give you ये blood test, वो blood test, blah blah blah. ये MRI, CT scan, etc. सब लेके जाओ. हाँ, आपको ये हुआ है, ये गोली. Once you get okay, file कपाट मध्ये, where is the data? If you lose the file, even today we do not keep any electronic records, even for the young child that is born, which is essential for healthcare. Very essential. That's why you require to have very good, because remember that it is useful data which is going to help your generations beyond also. It will help them to understand how the evolution has taken place. मला 2 कान होते, काही दिवसांनी फक्त 1.5 कान राहिला. का राहिला? मोठे मोठे कान होते, आता लहान लहान का झाले? Remember that is acts as reflectors. But nowadays people are putting this, काय म्हणतात त्याला? कानाचे कुंडलं? Headphones. Headphones, the people who are using the headphones for a period of time, large period of time, I will tell you, over a period of time, they will not be able to hear any very simple voice. जोराने बोलावं लागते. Why? Because the system has been treated to hear the sound at that level only. उसके below the समझ में नहीं आता उसको. So that is the evolution that has happened. What will happen to the generations beyond that? It will be copied. It will come in your genes automatically. Not today, maybe after 1 lakh years. But it will be there. So there is no requirement of this. No, you छोटा कर दो. You are using the headphones, or your headphones will come inbuilt. Something like that. Yeah. That is what is evolution. So the thing that you don't use is of no use to you, why it should be kept? It is a burden. जसं पाककला, आता बोलू नये, पण आजकालच्या बायकांची पाककला यंग पोरी ते 0 आहे. मुलांची चांगली आहे. पुष्कळशा मुलींना पोळी बनवता येते, भाकरी दूरच्या गोष्टी आहे. Why it has happened? Why? It is a fact. Everybody knows that. Because when you go to see a girl, a lot of people, the one thing they ask, can you cook? हा प्रश्न पहिले नव्हता. Can you cook? This thing was not asked. If you talk about 20-30 years back, that can you cook? You are supposed to cook. You should know cooking. Anyway, I'm not saying that you should always keep on cooking and not do anything. No, I'm not that person. But remember that these are basic skills that come with the role that we play in the society. A role of a lady and a role of a man are different. They are decided by nature. Remember that. We are not decided. It is decided by nature. Everybody is given a different role. And to play that role perfectly, there are certain minimum requirements that we should satisfy. There are certain minimum requirements. And that should be done. So there are no problems. Anyway, we are deviating from our topic. So, the growth of internet and this basically amount of data that can analyze, advances in AI research. They talk about deep learning, which was existing long back. It's like old wine in new bottle. Industrial or what is Internet of Things. Internet of Things was existing long back when we talk about sensor networks. Sensor network is not new thing. People have been studying sensors for so many years and network them also. Only thing is that you are, for the purpose of communicating the data, you are making use of internet or some form of internet, and therefore you are saying that Internet of Things. Things were there, sensors were there, data was also there, they were also read. Only thing that the way it was communicated was different. The way it was communicated is different. And therefore, it's old wine in new bottle, Internet of Things. अरे बाप रे काय है? मोठी एक गोष्ट है. No, WSN मध्ये there wireless sensor network क्या है? Wireless sensor networks are existing for so many years. What is that? It is an example of Internet of Things. They are connected through wireless. Okay. So, advance in AI research, advancement in NLPs. I talked about something about NLP. I will not go much deep into that. Okay, the ability of AI to understand and interpret human language. I told you there are different forms of human language. होता है ना, हस्बंड वाईफ है, बायको कोणत्या पद्धतीने पाहिलं त्याच्यावर तो हस्बंड ऍक्ट करतो. इट्स अ फॅक्ट. असं केलं तर पटकन चला, वेळ झाला. असं केलं बोलू नका, यू आर टॉकिंग टू मच. See, this is a natural language. Remember that. It's a fact. Conveying something without speaking. You are conveying. No sign. असा करा. But बोलती बात. It's a fact. No? Everybody uses it. And if you are speaking with some group and you say like, okay, चलो निकलो ना, what time है? These are sign languages. NLP. Okay, so you can have so many additions. You can interview people how they do it, and you can make a very good NLP out of that. Okay, anyway, I think you don't find it boring. So how does ML relate to AI? Machine learning. And the human being also is a machine. We are also machine. We are natural machines. An animal is a machine. We are natural machines. We are surviving. So what is machine learning? Now people talk about a number of things. ये algorithm, machine learning का, वो algorithm. अरे पण कधी कोणचा वापरायचा? Can all algorithm be used for all purpose? Can you have any universal algorithm irrespective of the type of data or the structure of data? Can you have? Do you have? It's a big problem. Remember that. If you solve this problem, you will become a universal scientist. People will come after you. You will be the most sought of person on this earth if you can develop a unique algorithm for all these purposes, irrespective of the data. Just like we say that Java works irrespective of the platform. So can we have any learning algorithm irrespective of the data? कोई भी type का data रहो, कोई भी structure का data रहो, that algorithm should work. Do we have? The answer is no. No. Why? Because you are having data in different forms, different structures, different ways. And that's why the ML plays a very important role in making the system learn. And what about machine learning? So remember that ML is a part of AI. AI is a big picture, big framework. ML is a part of it. It is not aloof of AI. It's a part and parcel of AI. So AI and ML are used frequently interchangeably. Machine learning is subset of larger category of AI. Said that. It's a subset of AI. AI talks about generality. General. है ना? कोई भी framework होता है. So there is one framework which is generalized framework. And there is another framework that is specific framework. Even when you develop a software, you are having a generalized framework. और उस framework में multiple modules रहते हैं. Module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4, and then you are interconnecting it to make a generalized framework. So within a generalized framework, you are having some specific frameworks or sub-frames. And you are interconnecting that sub-frames in some form to make the main frame. Same aspect is here. That AI talks about generality to mimic human thought by carrying out tasks in real world environments. And machine learning implies to the technology and algorithm that allows system to recognize pattern, make decisions, and improve themselves through experience. Blah blah blah. See, it is capable of recognizing patterns. It is making use of algorithms or step-by-step instructions. The algorithm is nothing but what? A certain pre-decided set of rules and regulations. That's not the algo. How you do it? Okay, come here, come do this, then you do that. If it's not like this, you do like that. That is what is written there. And that is what is algo. And therefore, it is basically a step-by-step instruction only. Algorithm में करते क्या है? वही होता है. Any algorithm in general, algorithm is a very general word. So practically, why you are doing it is basically to recognize certain pattern within the data. अब pattern मतलब क्या है यहाँ? वो features. We are talking about some features within the data. Make decisions. Now remember that decision making is a complex process. Not very simple. Now here you are helping it to make the decisions. Why? How you are doing it? When you are training with certain data, do you tell him that this should be the output or not? Let us see if it is supervised learning. Okay, there are two, supervised and unsupervised. If it is supervised learning, do you tell him that this is the expected output or not? So that he can correct himself if it is not giving. So you are giving a set of parameters that for this input, this should be the output. For this input, this should be output. For this input, this should be output. So for this picture, this is the output. For this picture, this is the output. For this picture, so you are making it khichdi. Learn. If it is duplicated, you will remove it. Okay, I already learned that. Just like if somebody tells you to ride a bicycle, क्या बोलोगे आप? I know it. There is nothing new to you. But somebody tells that you fly a plane. Something new addition. The techniques of flying a plane and riding a bicycle are different. So same thing, the patterns. So making decisions improve themselves through experience and data. See, now there are two aspects here, very important. Experiential learning is there. Experiential learning. We also do it. We also do experiential learning from our past memories. Past memories, remember that. Last time ऐसा किया था तो गलत हुआ था. अब नहीं करेंगे. You're going to your past. It is experiential learning that has happened to you. That if you do like this, it is not right. It is wrong. I should not do it. Same thing is here. Experiential learning is there in terms of machine learning algorithms and learning from the data. Why? Because every time we are having a new data, so you gain a new experience. Every time you are having a new data, so you will get new insights. Because why we are looking into this data, think of it. Because what we are looking out for is basically new insights. If there is something different which is not there in my dictionary or my knowledge, I am looking for that. And if it is, I will add to my knowledge. And that's how you build your knowledge. That's how you keep on building your knowledge base. Slowly. So that's why we say that more you train it, the sharper it becomes. More you train it, the sharper it becomes. So these are the general applications that we are having in your daily life. I need not to tell you healthcare, agriculture, retailing, productivity, improving productivity, personal life. Yes, come in your personal life. Alexa, light बंद करो, ट्यूबलाइट चालू करो, फैन बंद करो, AC चालू करो. Alexa does that. Alexa, play me this song. Hindi. You want Hindi, English, Marathi, Gujarati, Telugu. Okay, language. So Alexa is playing a song for you. Personal life. AI has entered your personal life, whether you are knowingly or whether you like it or don't like it. How many people amongst you are using Google? Google as a search engine. No, you are not using? Everybody, very good. So do you think that you are passing data to Google every day? Your personal life, कहाँ से purchase करते हो, क्या purchase करते हो, क्या फ्रीक्वेंसी से परचेस करते हो, आपका मार्जिन क्या है, 2000 के ऊपर की नहीं लेने का. Some people can buy up to 5000. See, so much amount of packed data you are giving ready-made. Ready-made. So your behavioral aspect also comes into there. Your marketing behavior. और वही एडवर्टाइजमेंट आपके पास आएगी फिर. Let's say you are very fond of Van Heusen, you have gone n number of times. हर बार Van Heusen का SMS, मैसेज, WhatsApp जो भी हो, या when you open anything, Van Heusen, new collection, it will automatically come. So knowingly or unknowingly, it has entered your life. It has entered your life, so you cannot go away from it, but you can always resist it. Okay, yes, that means we should do less online shopping. Just for my faculties here, do less online shopping. It will help you a lot. It will save you money also. Anyway, so examples are there. The basically applications you can save. Different situations. Virtual assistants, everybody is using virtual assistants. Banking, कुछ प्रॉब्लम है, Amazon ये नहीं मिल रहा है, बैठे उस पे. Okay, there are a lot of sites where they are helping you, especially educational sites. May I help you? I am your friend. Okay, so it is basically a virtual assistants, autonomous vehicles, chatbots, e-commerce, recommendation systems. Yes. No, recommendation systems are there for you also. When something comes as an ad to you, if you see at Amazon, you are doing a lot of purchase over a period of time. So you find over a period of time, they will say that, okay, this is recommended for you. How does it you get the knowledge? Because the thing you may have purchased a number of times, or things similar to that may you have purchased a number of times. So it is recommending, okay, this is new, that is available. It's recommending you to buy the product. Why? Because it is gaining the knowledge from your past experiences. So there can be a number of different types of recommendation systems. Even in teaching learning process also there are recommendation systems. Navigation apps, need not to tell, facial recognition, text editors, all of these are multiple applications that are there. Everybody knows this robot. I need not to tell you. What is this? Humanoid. Is it a humanoid? Yes. Pakka? Is it a humanoid?
Yeah. 45 minutes max. 30 to 45 minutes.
No, that's okay. I can take it for 1.5 hours.
Time.
Let me know.
Time has.
That's why I asked them. If you are bored, I will stop it.
Half an hour. We'll have a break.
Okay, so this is an example of a humanoid. Everybody knows about it. Okay, so it is capable of displaying human expressions, interacting with human beings. A lot of you people I must have seen on your televisions. The hotel being operated through robots. You must have seen just few days back, 1 month back, a hotel in China. A hotel in China is serving everything through robots. Full. Okay, right from your ordering to your what you can say delivery of plates, taking away the plates, everything is done by robots. 100%. Okay, there are no humans involved there except for the kitchens. Okay, because we are still not taught the system how to cook. Okay, because they cannot guess. इतना मसाला डालना है, इतना नमक डालना है. वो ह्यूमन इंटेलिजेंस में है, बराबर है ना? It is very difficult to take it like that. है ना? असं खाल्लं, मीठ कमी आहे, टाकलं. Okay, that means you have to develop a taste sensors for them. You have to develop a taste sensors so that you can understand the taste and make it specific for a particular person. Human specific. Okay, and very difficult part to make a taste sensors. Not that easy. Okay, anyway, so I will not talk about which. Everybody knows this. So what problems it can solve? Your workshop is based on the same thing, that is the amalgamation of AI and cybersecurity. Okay, so detecting spams and a number of things, cybercrime, सब कुछ आता है. Healthcare, research, transportation, etc., etc. These are the problems that AI can solve. Technical application areas of AI. Okay, there we are seeing one user specific. So these are technical, here. Image processing, everybody knows. Sentiment analysis. Remember, human sentiment. How do we analyze a human sentiment? Anybody? Remember that sentiment is something very different.
According to the mood.
No, mood is different. Sentiment is different. Mood is different. Mood. ते आपले 7 तत्व 9 तत्व जे आहे, सॉरो वगैरे वगैरे जे आहे, मुद्रा, that can tell you about the moods. Sentiment is something different. Sentiment is more associated with attachment. तो ये बंदा बहुत sentimental है. कोई बंदा होता है ना, accident पायला, blood पायला के चक्कर में पड़ते धड़क. Lot of people are not afraid at all. Okay, people have got sentimental attachment to something. For example, my father has given me a pen and it has been stolen. This is a sentiment. So it is very difficult to guess sentiments. Difficult. Moods you can guess. Moods, of course, because it is more associated with facial expressions and all this thing. Facial expression and voice. Both the things combined. You can guess the mood of a person. But understanding sentiments is not that easy. Not very easy. Sentimental analysis is not very easy. Because sentiment itself is a complex behavioral aspect. Complex behavioral aspect. What is sentimental to you may not be for others. It is very, म्हणजे काय व्यक्ती विशेष असते. Very specific, human specific. It is not generalized. Sentiments are not generalized. म्हणजे काय एखादा कोणी गचाकलं म्हणजे somebody is dead. Everybody doesn't feel bad about that. But remember that. Then if people express sorrow and all these things, that is okay, but practicality you tell. But a person who is very nearly attached to that person, he is really feeling bad. The same sentiments are not carrying with you. You are there. You are also basically trying to pacify him or basically take care of his loss. But remember that you don't have that degree of sentiments attached. And that's why it is situation both, it is personal. And therefore, sentimental analysis is not a joke. It's not a very simple thing. If you describe mood as sentiment, then it is something different. But sentiment is sentiment, mood is mood. Mood is there, you can always tell. Because even moods can be associated with circumstances. एखाद्याचं लग्न असतं, everybody is happy, कुणी पण बोलतात. बोलतच नाही. झालं, मूड नाही होत. The practical thing, everybody is happy, everybody's mood is happy. काय तर काल जे झालं मला बोलवलं नाही तुम्ही जेवायला. नाराज आहे. काल श्रीमंती पूजन झालं, सगळे पाहुणे बसले, मला बोलवलं नाही तुम्ही जेवायला. So he is detached. Why? Because you are not thinking that he is part and parcel of you, or you are mistaken by not calling him. See, situation based. अगर वैसा नहीं होता तो ये भी जाली हो जाता. Remember that. Okay. Anyway, NLP You have to tell you video processing, speech recognition. Now speech recognition, again, it comes to the longer part of it, that is deepfakes. Deepfakes is basically both positive and negative. And animation, AI के साथ वहाँ भी deepfakes बनते हैं, but for some good purpose. Lot of movies are having that. And deepfake has also been used. For example, I don't know if you have got something in your knowledge. A phone comes to you exactly in the voice of your near or dear. समज तुमचे आई वडील दुसऱ्या गावी राहत असेल खूप दूर दिल्लीला राहत असतील त्यांच्याच व्हॉइसने तुम्हाला फोन येईल मी मथुराला आहे माझी पर्स चोरी गेली आहे exactly in similar voice. Please send me immediately this number of money on my UPI. Are you getting it? माझा फोन पण हरवला आहे दुसऱ्याच्या फोनवरून फोन करतोय criminalization. Okay, so deepfakes basically also used for that particular purpose. That's why speech recognition is basically a very difficult task. That whether it is a deepfake or not, it's very difficult to recognize. Okay, so AI is a boon as well as it is a disadvantage also. And IoT, old by new word. Advantages, n number of advantages. I will not read it. Image and facial recognitions, medical diagnosis, customer services, recommendation system. N number of them are there. Recommendation system. Example: Alexa is a recommendation system. Siri also is a recommendation system. Okay. You get Alexa का देता है personalized content है ना? You want to feel the mood. Even lighting can be related to moods. Alexa can do it. Okay. So n number of things, n number of advantages are limited. I have written here. Okay. You can name the thing. You can give it in the AI. So generative AI. Somebody was talking about that. I have just specifically taken it. Why generative AI? Because this is a hot topic that is there nowadays. Everybody talks about ChatGPT and all these things. So ChatGPT is not the only thing that is available. There are a number of better things than ChatGPT. Okay, and these AI platforms are different for different purposes. Okay, remember ChatGPT. If you ask for images, it cannot create. You will not get it. You will not get any images. You will get text. But for image, if you want along with the images, there is some other platform. Okay, so there are a lot of paid AI engines are there. So it is basically artificial intelligence that focuses on creating or generating new content. So new content म्हणजे काय? I'll give a simple example. आपण इंग्रजीत sentence लिहितो. I am going to the institute, or I will be joining you at so and so time, at so and so place. So remember, for every sentence there is a subject and predicate. There are rules. That if there is something starting with a vowel A, E, I, O, U, then it has to be associated with an. But there are exceptions also. An umbrella नहीं बनता, an university नहीं बनता, the university बनता. There are exceptions. You don't say an university. We said the university, though U is a vowel. So, हम जब sentence construct करते हैं, there is a grammar. So if you study it properly, if one word is there, it is going to be followed by some other word which is possible, probable. Let's say there may be 5 words. Out of that 5, 1 will come there. Rest will not come. There is a probability. And that's what we looked into generative here. Understand words, understand the sequencing of the words, create a sentence. Understand the sequencing of sentence, create a paragraph. Understand the, so we can generate content. Now generating content is basically from learning from examples. I am storing. Just like if I put on ChatGPT, okay, give me introduction to AI, it will pull everything. जितना भी AI related material उसके पास है, it will pull everything and give it to you. And then you say that okay, you summarize them for me in 1000 words. It will summarize you. We'll take very important contents and summarize it for you for 1000 words. So there is a content generation. नया कुछ चीज है वो भी ऐड करवाता है. So it is both construction and generation of contents. Okay, that means you can over a period of time you will be able to write a book on your own. Yes, it's a fact. You will be able to write a book on your own using AI. You can write a story using AI. You give the features, it will construct a story for you. It will construct a story. Remember that. So it is a generative AI. It is a generative AI. So it is a subset of machine learning drawing from techniques like deep learning and reinforcement learning to generate output that can include text, images, music, video, blah blah blah. So many things. These are so many use cases of generative AI. You name a thing, everything is available associated with us. Look at this particular thing, everything is associated with us. Marketing, sales, support, general writing, note taking, code generation, code documentation, text to XML, all different domains. Text domain, code domain, image, speech, video, 3D, others. RPA, robotic process automation, gaming, music, audio, so many of them. Okay, these are very few. Major use cases in generative AI. Major means what have been used probably. Retail, देखिए. Customer service automation. Every day you are using it. Whether it is banking services or any other type of services, you are using this. Sales and product recommendations. 24/7 support. Credit card, debit card. 24/7 support. Anytime you can call. Yes. Retail. Healthcare, which is not there in India, but we are healthy. Okay. Our healthcare systems are much better than what is there in UK. Remember that. We are better placed. Diagnostic support, symptoms checking and triage, clinical trial matching. Finance and banking, education, supply chain management. Okay, these are majority of the area of generative AI. And this is what is, I just put in here, something called as conversational AI. We'll go fast through this. This is a type of AI that can simulate human conversation. What is there in human conversation? Human conversation requires a subject. See, when you converse with somebody, there is some subject to be decided. अपने आप friend को phone किया, hello बोल दिया, हो गया conversation. You are bringing him for some purpose. कोई purpose होगा. Even if you just want to have a chat, how are you? What you had your food? Did you have your dinner, etc., etc. Chatting. It is a leisure chatting, but it is having some subject. There can be multiple subjects associated. So, a type of AI that can simulate human conversation happens through NLP. Okay. Synthetic brain power that makes machines capable of understanding, processing, and responding to human languages. Synthetic. Synthetic means what? Not real. Reconstructed. Reconstructed. You can converse, you are speaking. Other side se reply bhi aata hai. Just like simple example I give you, the phone answering machine. Lot of time you dial in European countries, lot of people have an answering machine. That okay, hello, I am not there, so please record your message after this bit. So there is somebody speaking to you. This is automated tape. This is the same aspect. Okay, so synthetic brain power that makes machine capable of understanding, processing, and human responding human language. But remember that why it is synthetic? Because it is created by machine. Brain power that makes machines capable of understanding. Remember, आप क्या पूछ रहे हो समझ में आना चाहिए ना. तुम्ही समजा तुम्ही विचारला की 1 किलो साबुदाण्याचा भाव काय आहे. बरं विचार. तो उसको समझना चाहिए 1 किलो यानी क्या है, साबुदाना यानी क्या है, भाव म्हणजे काय. You should be able to interpret. सो उसको इंटेलिजेंस होना चाहिए, बराबर है? देन वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड, ओके मैंने विचारले बाबा 1 किलो साबुदाणा, हाँ ओके, देन इट कैन ओके 50 रुपये किलो, that's the answer. So it is trying to simulate the brain power that makes machines capable of understanding, processing and responding. आपकी क्वेरी होती है, आप जो बोलते हो it is a query and is supposed to respond to that query. So the query is required to be processed first to understand what is the query, and associated with that process you have to generate a response to that query. Okay, so it is basically that type of thing that we talk about as conversational AI. See it very simple. Conversational, can you help me? Service request, I have a question. Information request, I need to get this done. Action request, I want to see this request. Information, what should I do? Decision request. Okay, that, like especially for psychological aspect, there are a lot of these products there. I am going through depression, I am unable to understand what to do. तो बात करते रहेंगे आपसे. Okay, what is happening? How do you feel? What bothers you? It will ask questions. It will answer them one by one. So you have to understand what is the present situation, present thing that is happening with you, so that it can provide you a certain proper treatment. Can say a line of treatment, or pacify you presently, so that your depression. Okay, so please hear to some light music. Make your windows open. Let the air flow. You are a beautiful person on earth. Why you are bothered about all these things? See, this is what is there. Okay. So one side human being, other side the machine. Okay, this is an example of what chatbots. Okay, types of conversational AI chatbots, voice bots, interactive voice systems. So AI in education, I told you primarily I will speak of this AI in education. So I go in fast. So there are a lot of things basically AI can do in education. I will come to that. Very important thing, personalized learning. What is in my personalized learning? I only want to see that thing I want. Personalize. मला आज फक्त मला मशीन लर्निंग बद्दल शिकायचं आहे, मला कंटेंट फक्त मशीन लर्निंगचे हवे, बाकी नको. पर्सनलाइज, स्पेसिफिक टू द रिक्वायरमेंट. सो दिस a tailor learning, tailor-made. Okay, tailor learning experiences to the unique needs, preferences, pace and abilities of each learner. Remember. Okay, I want to attend a certain workshop, or let's say some type of course, add-on course, but it should be at my pace. Not make it compulsory that every day you have to sit for 2 hours, 3 hours, and we will complete it in 1 month. No, let it go for 6 months. I will do it at my own pace. So there can be specific requirements associated with the user, the customer, you can say, which is basically part of personality. Now this is very, very important from student perspective. Whatever you are giving to the student, I don't think each one of them is that much all concerned about that. He may be basically associated with one particular area, which he wants to know more as compared to others. So that is where the personalized learning comes into play. Okay, so analyzing data about individual learners, AI can provide insights into areas of strengths and weaknesses, identify learning styles, and provide customized recommendation for content, resources, and activities. Everything. Okay. Second, adaptive learning. Change is universal. Nobody can run away from change. When we did our engineering, there was hardly any of these subjects. There was no DSP, Digital signal processing was not there. There was no image processing. Nothing was there. But we adopted. And there was no wireless communication also. Okay, forget about internet and all this thing. They were not there at all. Okay, the latest programming language that we are seeing only was C. That too at the fag end of our engineering. Okay, otherwise we have studied something GW basic programming, Pascal
And Fortran.
and Fortran 4 and then Fortran 77. First,
D-base.
okay, formula translation is what you call as now MATLAB. MATLAB is a basic of MATLAB is Fortran. Okay, and COBOL was there, commercial language, business, COBOL. Okay, anyway, nowadays you don't talk about all these things. It's totally different. Okay. So adaptive learning algorithm also you to detect how you prefer to learn and as an individual or as a cohort. Cohort means what? Group. As an individual or as a group. How do you learn? Goal is creating entire learning journeys or flows that adjust to each learner based on their interests, learning preferences, skills, needs, etc. etc. So adaptive learning can be a part of AI. Okay. Universal access. Most important part. You can access anything from anywhere. Okay. Access anything from anywhere. You can put. Okay. Second thing is that you can get knowledge from throughout the world. Why? Because it is generating that content. It is generating the content, so it's not that content belongs to somebody. It is coming from multiple places. It is coming from, see, when you, for example, you have published some article, when you upload this paper on some platform, what it means? It is a part and parcel of that world. That part will be going to your AI systems. They will fetch your content, what is there. So that becomes an information for them, new. Okay, and that's why whatever content they generate is basically universal in nature. It is not, but at the same time it is specific to your needs, specific to your requirements. Okay, and specific to your learning habits. Even learning habits has an aspect I have different. Learning habits of everybody is not similar. Just like if you take the example again of a child. लहान मुलाला एका बसून जागेवर बसून खवायचं पुष्कळ मुलं खात नाही चालता फिरतात धावत जाते एक घास धावत दुसरा घास चालले त्या मागे मागे and that's how you feed him. Okay, so that becomes his eating habit, you can say, the way you are feeding him. So learning habits are also there. Somebody likes to get up early in the morning at 4 o'clock, do some study for 1 hour, one and a half hour. Go outside, roam, come back, have a cup of tea, or go to sleep. Yeah, people do it. They get up at 4 o'clock and roam, he will study, roam, come back, and then take a nap for 1 hour. So he is refreshed. कोई बंदे रहते हैं burning the night oil. तिची जागाच 12 वाजता पण चालू होते अभ्यास 6 वाजेपर्यंत अभ्यास करते 12 पासून सकाळी 6 वाजेपर्यंत and then after finishing his early morning course he goes to sleep and only in afternoon 1 o'clock is there to have his lunch. So remember that learning habits are different. There are certain people, if they get time, they do the things here in the classroom only or in the library, what it may be, writing a journal. कोई बंदा रहता है सेमेस्टर खत्म होने तक कुछ नहीं करता है कोई बंदा रहता है भाई 1 घंटा है ब्रेक है चलो लिख लो so learning habits are something which are very user specific or maybe group specific also because when you say a group everybody doesn't have same behavioral aspects and even learning attitudes are different so we have to talk about the average learning attitude of a group. Average learning attitude. So, real-time text-to-speech, speech-to-text, all this, everybody knows about it. I'm just going through it. Now, this is basically from policymakers' perspective. Who is a policymaker? We? Are we policymakers? Yes or no? Are we policymakers? How many say yes? How many people say no? अरे निरोगा कुंजरवा नहीं चलना. We are policymakers related to the courses we teach, not overall policymakers, but we are always a policymaker related to courses we teach. Why we are not? You decide what should be there in the assignment, what should be there in the exams, etc., etc., etc. You decide how this particular person or a group of people should be evaluated. You only decide. So who is a policymaker? You. Okay, anyway. So potential application of categories AI in education is education management and delivery. BYJU'S. Example, BYJU'S. BYJU. What is that? It's a platform for e-learning. How it is? It comes under this category only. Okay, education management and delivery. Learning and assessment. You are doing PO, PSO, TOTO, CO. Okay. And a course outcomes, program education objectives, COPO mapping, PO with course mapping, then attainment.
Right, sir.
You're doing that, aren't you? AI can help you in a big way in that. AI can help you in a big way in that. Anyway, empowering teachers and enhancing teaching, and last is lifelong learning, which is one of the parameters of your PO.
Right, sir.
PO number 12, lifelong learning. If I'm not wrong, PO 12.
Right.
Anyway, I will skip this part, education management and delivery, because Pulsar is, I think, serving lunch. So,
A minute break, just hold slide. This one. समोर येऊन जा सगळे.
want to have photo?
हाँ.
अच्छा. Demand of photo for metal?